All right, well, hi everyone. So today we are going to be pulling for Argenti's light cone. Hopefully it shows it comes home. Um, but it is going to be going live in about 3 minutes. I thought it was supposed to be at noon, but no, apparently being on the Eastern time zone is so difficult because pretty much like a lot of American stuff goes off of California time, and I'm on the other side of the country. So anything that's like, oh, here it's at 8 o'clock in California, well, that's like midnight for me, or at least like 11 o'clock. Where I'm like, well, I'm asleep at that point. So it said noon, but then it changed to like, or not changed, but it was like, oh, since you're, is it, we're not on daylight savings time now. And so it turned into, 1 o'clock, but whatever. So, but it'll be live in about 2 minutes. So let's just hop over to the game. And so we have, I decided to do a pull in front of these giant roses. This is kind of like the Argenti spot. I already have Argenti, but
the principles of knighthood to champion beauty and courage.
But I never got his light cone the last time his banner was live. And also they do have that new Sunday light cone that's going to be in this banner. So I was like, hey, two birds, kind of almost literally. And so why not? I'm not pulling on pulling a lot though. If I basically don't get the light cone, if I like lose the 75-25%, I'm just gonna have to call it and be like, okay, well maybe next time, because I want to save up for all those cool characters that are coming.
When will you respond to my pleas again?
I mean, as you could see from my tag here, it's like I'm saving for Jiao and Sunday as well. So, it looks like it just clicked in. Alrighty. Yeah. So, like, for example, it's kind of funny because I don't pull on the light cones that often. But, we go to the details. The last 5-star cone I got on the light cone banner was, what was her name? That Divine Seer from the Luofu. I actually got her light cone. I didn't get her. But if you go back, I mean, that was such a long time ago because that was during her like first banner. It doesn't even go back that far. So I at least have a 50 kitty. And this thing goes to 80. So hopefully this will only take, 10, 20, maybe 30 pulls to get to pity. And like I said, if I get it, that'll be great. And if I don't, well, I'll have to move on and just try for next time. It's kind of important to me, but it's not so important that I want to throw away my chance at getting Yao. I will get used to saying his name. I have to take a second that my brain has to click in. But I want him, and then of course I also want Sunday, along with a bunch of other characters, so I can't be too loose with my funds. But let us take a look and see what happens. Oh. Alright, here we go. Oh, okay, it's a 5-star. Cross my fingers, please, please, please. great. Oh gosh. It's kind of funny when you get the 5-star, you know, the little thing, and you're like, oh my gosh, did I get him? Or did I win the 50-50? Did I lose the 50-50? That part is the part where it's the most stressful. So, yes, nice. Oh, and then there's as. Yeah, I knew my light cone pity was high. I will say I did know that it was, but I didn't know exactly how high. But yeah, there we go. You know what, I think what I'll do too is I think I will do one more 10 pull to try to get Sunday's light cone. Because I really do want that one too. I'm not gonna go crazy though, because I need to make sure I have stuff saved. And unfortunately, this will not add to character pity. So let's just do another. What happens? Oh, she's Topaz again. Go away. It's always that one 4-star that you're just like, I don't want more of you. Go away. I know, I'm bad. This will be the last one, I promise. If it's Topaz again, I will... Oh my gosh! Topaz, go away! Now she's just hating on me. Okay, I'll have to get Sunday some other time. Holy cow, Topaz, you pain in the butt. At least we got Argentis. Sometimes 4-stars are harder to pull than the 5-stars. But holy cow. And at least I reached the warp total. So that gives a little extra bits there. Well, I guess you have good luck and you get bad luck. Good luck, we actually got Argenti's light cone, which was the goal. Bad luck, of course, is that Topaz is haunting us. And I don't even have Topaz. Not that I dislike her, but I kind of wanted Sunday's light cone. Oh. Wrong one. Go to Rivet Town. I can't believe I got 4 Topaz cards in a row. But I can't risk any more because, well, I technically could as long as I have that 180 saved for Xiao Cho, but getting one light cone that's going to get put on standard is not worth it. I mean, I know the other time I was rolling for that one with Sunday and his sister and their little kids because it was so cute, and I like rolled, I got it. I rolled and I got it, but then I also which it also showed up on the standard like in the next patch. So I was like, oh, okay. Not to mention too, if Sunday ends up becoming playable and he ends up having being a 5-star, he's gonna have another light cone anyway.
Knights of Beauty and Galaxy Rangers. Who will let us join forces?
Yeah, it's interesting that Boot Hill has a lot of lines connected to Argenti, but like when you look at Argenti's voice lines, they need to like give him some updated ones or something, because the only people he talks about is the Astral Express. Like, considering he's a Knight of Beauty, he's not a passenger. It's like, why does he only talk about the Astral Express crew?
We'll protect all beauty.
Let's do it.
Wretched and freeze. We'll protect all beauty.
Those with low gun. Those who dig the grave.
No dirty
Bring it
tricks.
on. Time's up.
Spend freely. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
Beauty is eternal. We'll protect all beauty.
Yeah, I will say, if I didn't get Argenti's light cone and I got all those topazes, I would be very upset. So at least I got Argenti's light cone, because that was the big thing.
Those with low gun. Those who dig the grave. Watch your major.
Although when I read the whole bit where it was talking about how like, oh, the pity is 80 and you have a 25% chance to get the light cone instead of a 50-50, I was like, okay, I might actually have a pretty good chance then to get it. So
Let's do it. There's your reward. Those with the low gun. Those who dig the grave.
The dead return. Flesh wound.
Bring it on. Time's up.
Bust. Or maybe
Yeah.
I'll take it all.
I know I mean, we'll know when we'll know when the live stream happens on what character is coming first in or
Let's do it.
Wretched and freeze.
where are we in? I forgot the version number.
Protect all beauty.
Those with low gun. Those who dig the grave.
Well, when we go into the next patch, I'll just say,
The dead return.
when we go into the next patch, they'll tell us during the live stream on who comes first and who comes second. I have heard a rumor that Jiao Cho is going to be the second phase, and Dun Li is going to be the first phase.
Let's do it.
So that does give more time to save up and everything. But like I mentioned, I mean,
Low gun.
there's apparently a lot of cool characters, and plus Sunday, plus this, plus that. So I'm like, okay, you know, can't go crazy with any pulls right now.
Is eternal.
Bring it on. There's your reward.
To be honest, this kind of feels a little bit like when I was doing Baizu stuff. Because with Baizu, I had gotten him to C1 during his first banner, but I didn't roll for his weapon. And then in the second rerun, I got his weapon.
Let's do it.
And then the third rerun, I ended up getting him to the... No, I got him to C2, I think. And then in his third rerun, I ended up getting him to C3, and his weapon came home twice. So he's C3, and his weapon is rank 3. And so in this case, we now have Argenti, and then we have Argenti is only at 1,
Bust.
which I might drop a 10 roll on his banner too, just to say I did,
There's your reward.
just to try. I don't think my pity is very high on that one though. And I did win my last 50-50, so
The dead return. Let's duel. Turns up. Those with the loaded gun. Those who dig their own grave.
Watch your head.
Buhill is so sassy. He's kind of a neat guy.
Bring it on.
His backstory is really sad though. I mean, when you look at a lot of the characters, their backstories are very sad.
Protect all beauty. Let's duel.
I mean, out of my current party,
Those with the loaded gun.
3 of them at least are orphans and came from planets that were either war torn
Bust.
or
Or maybe I'll take you out.
just were plain attacked.
The dead return. Bring it on.
I mean, if you go into it, it's like, okay, so Aventurine. So he was born in a group of people that are basically were endangered, and they were hunted and harassed by another group on their planet, and then the IPC didn't help them, and so now Aventurine is the last of his kind. And he lost his father before he was born. His mom died at some point, and then his sister ended up kind of semi-sacrificing herself for revenge, and he lost her too. He then got put into slavery, killed his master, or I should say he got put into slavery. He had to kill a bunch of other people in order to survive because his master seemed to be really thrilled with the Colosseum / Hunger Games. And then he killed his master, and then he got put in front of Jade, and at least she kind of gave him a chance. And and he is here where he is now. With Boothill, Boothill was orphaned. He was adopted and raised up, and he was living a, fairly decent life. He found a little girl who he adopted, and then the IPC came in and they wanted
Or maybe
something
I'll take
from
you
the
out.
planet. I don't remember if it was an ore or oil or whatever, but basically the IPC wanted to come in and mine it, and Boot Hill's, people obviously did not want that because the IPC was going to rip up their land and they were using it for farming. And then one of the jerks at the IPC, what was his name? I don't remember, but that guy decided that, or they were trying to mine anyway, and Boot Hill snuck onto the ship to, I guess, get information / get rid of the guy. And then while he was on the ship, they opened fire on his people and on their homes and things, and the IPC basically wiped them all out. And the guy who did it basically wrote it up as, "Ooh, there was some sort of accident." And so Boot Hill manages to survive because he wasn't on the planet, but he loses everybody. He loses both of his parents, his adoptive parents, his dads, I think. Loses both of them, loses his friends, loses his siblings. He even loses his daughter, and she barely begun to walk. She was a little tiny baby, and after that, he basically decided to give his life up to revenge, and he had himself changed into a cyborg. He almost didn't survive the transformation, and so he became a Galaxy Ranger so that he could get revenge. Which, to be honest, I hope he gets it, because the guy who ended up causing the death of his people, that guy apparently did a lot of really bad things. And then you have Argenti, who was also an orphan. He grew up on the streets in a war-torn country, and he, as far as I remember from his backstory, he got to a point where he, as a child, was suffering so badly, he was like wanting to just lay down and give up. And in that bad time, he found an ocarina, and he just felt the urge to blow on it, and the sound was awful, but it actually gave him a spark of life to keep going. And then shortly after that, apparently he ends up meeting up with his master, who takes him in and starts teaching him about the, realm, the Drilla and the Knights of Beauty and stuff like that, and he follows in his master's footsteps, and then eventually he heads off to go look for a Drilla. He ends up meeting up with another knight, which they are probably fell in love, but then they end up having to separate because the Knights of Beauty, their whole thing is to go find a Drilla, and they can't do it as a big group, so they end up separating, but then by the time Argenti meets back up with his quote-unquote friend slash lover, that guy has turned into a monster. And Argenti ends up having to fight him and slay him, which, I mean, that's awful. I'm like, poor Argenti. So, they go through so much garbage. And we don't even know what Lucha's whole thing is. Lucha's whole bit is it's so much of a mystery. Like, even if you read his story lines and stuff like that, or his, I don't want to call it his story quest, because his story quest is something completely different. His story chapters, I guess, the write-up on his profile, it's kept in such a sort of vague way. You really don't know who's talking or what's happening or anything like that. But it seems like he wanted something and he made a deal with somebody, but then part of that deal means he has to like carry that coffin around and go do something for something. But he apparently wants to kill Yaoshi, but we don't know if he actually does or if he's just lying. And, I mean, his whole thing, which I think is the point, because Lucha is supposed to be Otto, and Otto really never told you what his whole deal was until the last minute. I mean, even in Honkai's Impact, the third, when Otto finally ends up passing away, we don't find out his true plan / intentions until basically the end of the chapter.
Bust. Or maybe I'll take it off.
I know with Otto, his whole thing was eventually would equal out that he wanted to get to the imaginary tree so he could create another branch, a branch in which Callan would survive, because he found out he basically couldn't bring her back to life. In order to do that, though, he ended up needing power from both Kiana and Durandal to hit him at the same time to help him transport himself to where the imaginary tree was. Unfortunately, because of everything that's happened, he can't just walk up to them and say, hey, could you guys both hit me at the same time? Because they don't trust him and they wouldn't do it. So he has to basically lie to them and say that, oh, I'm planning on reversing time 500 years and it will kill everybody, but... And of course they don't want that, so they go to fight him about it. Of course, with this whole fight, Kiana ends up attacking him. Durandal, who got a power-up, ends up attacking him at the same time. He gets to go there. He manages to save Callan's life, or basically give her a reason to keep fighting and not just give in and let herself get executed. And so on. And so there's a whole thing with that. With Lucha, we don't know if there's a Callan. In this case, we haven't had any mention of Callan. Like, XP isn't the correct term. People call it that, but it's not the correct term. It's kind of funny because you had a leaker who started using the term and then found out that they were using the term incorrectly. But now it's become so stuck that people just keep using the incorrect term. But it's basically a talent alternate. So like just like Lucha is an alternate to Otto, you have an alternate to Callan. However, we haven't seen her yet, or we don't even know if she even exists.
Protect all beauty.
Excuse me. So,
Bring it on. There's your reward.
ready. I think that should be enough key, or at least to get us started. If we do that, I want to do a 10 roll on Argenti. Let's say I did. To be honest, I should have just pulled a 10 here and a 10 here and be done with it. But in this case, it will at least, even if I don't get him, which I probably won't, it will give at least a little bit more pity. I think is my pity. Yeah, so I'm only at like 22. Boot Hill was last. Oh, hi, Dark Ovid. We're just doing some Argenti polls and to see if we can get a constellation for him. We got his light cone, which was really great. Although I wanted to get Argenti's light cone and also Sunday's light cone, the little 4-star, but I got 4 topazes and I gave up. I was just like, all right, I'm done. I don't think it would be bad to pull on this because as long as I don't go below 180, and even if I did, yeah. Well, I'm not rolling on her banner, but yeah, I had a 230 before, but I rolled. This is kind of funny. I rolled here because I wanted this, but I also wanted this Sunday card. I got Argenti's light cone, but then I rolled 20 more, and they were all topaz. All the 4-stars were topaz, and I got 4 of them. I was like, I don't even have topaz. I do technically use this card for Aventurine, though, so I guess that works out. But let's do a 10 pull and see what happens. Okay, the pity will just be a little bit higher. I think with the way I have it worked out is, yeah, so we're gonna have 20 days here, so that's 20 more tickets. Plus, if Yulin is first, that'll be another 20. So that's 40 before Xiao Cho's banner. Let's see. So I could probably roll to 140 and still be okay to get him. But I also have the whole thing with... It's not even a character, it's a card. I still have the whole thing of wanting to get Sunday, and who knows when he's gonna pop up. Plus, you have all these other cool characters. So, okay, so I did a 10 pull. I end up having. Nope. Be strong. Be strong. We are not gonna get an Argenti constellation this time. Just level up his light cone and stay strong. Because what'll happen is I will roll and I'll be happy at the moment, but then I'll probably do something like, oh, Xiao Cho will take like almost the full 180, and then I'll have nothing left for Sunday. He's getting topaz. Well, I don't have her, so, and I'm not that. I mean. I there's just so much other characters I want more than her. Not that she's bad or anything, but... Oh, you don't think you'll ever get Argenti? Yeah, I got him because I like him a lot. I don't really care about like, ooh, this character does more damage than him, or whatever. I just like him. I mean, I'm an Argenti main, so there's that. The big thing today was to get his light cone. Either use... Yeah, I guess we could use 54 of these. I'm not really using them for anything else. And that'll get us to the top level, so... There we go! It is a really pretty card, too. I know there's like a whole bunch of like theories behind Argenti and all that type of stuff. Like, I know about like his hair, for example. There's people who have theories that Argenti's hair actually is supposed to be white, but as he progressed on his path as a Knight of Beauty and slayed monsters and stuff, his hair actually got dyed redder and redder. And now only the little tiny bit at the side is all that remains of his original hair color. Other people have said that, well, wait a minute, Adrilla apparently was touching that part of his hair when in this picture, so does it mean that she basically kind of like started altering him, and that white hair is actually wrong? I personally have my own theory that in a way his soul actually is Adrilla, but he doesn't have any idea about it. And while Adrilla, because the reason why I have this thought is because of the idea that he... Oh, for Pete. You know what? I might regret this, but I'll do another warp, and then it'll get to 180, and then I'll stop. Okay. At least we got some more pity. This is what I kind of figured would happen, though. Oh, I got two characters there. Well, that's good, at least. Okay. There. Now I don't have that 10 in my pocket burning, but it also will end up helping me later on.
Rock and roll might be my only true companion.
Oh, I already had all of her etalons. Well, that'll be okay, because that basically changed it into, you go into the store. Like right here, like this is my, Sunday savings. Anyway, what I was saying, though, is that the idea that Adrilla actually is Argenti's soul, because in Argenti's stories, he mentions about how when he comes near to death, he sees Adrilla, which you normally would be like, oh, he's just hallucinating. But the thing is that we, as the MC, have been in that situation of, oh, we were near death and then we saw an Eon. So it's kind of like, oh, yeah, that's a thing that apparently can happen. My thought is that what's happening is he's seeing Adrilla because he's seeing his own soul leaving his body. But because he in his soul is an Eon, that's why he's not actually dead, even though he's taken a lot of risks. On the point of this, Adrilla is technically conscious and is a separate mental state from him, but she does not want him to know that she is his soul, because she needs him as his purpose to go around the universe and see all the beauty that is in the world, because or the universe, I should say. One, because that is kind of like what beauty should do, is to see the beauty. And two, it's like a lot less boring, I guess, than what she was doing before. E6 Natasha, yeah, I know. She kind of shows up. I think she probably was on a lot of banners originally. Also, too, I believe she was one of the, you got her for free originally. So, like, you got their first copy for free. Those 88 pulls are your backup, yeah. And that's a theory, an Argenti theory. Yeah, exactly. It is indeed. But there's like tons of theories about these characters. I just think it's a kind of a fun little headcanon. Because it kind of has just enough truth to it that you're kind of like, yeah, maybe that could have been a thing. But of course it probably isn't. They probably just kind of drop the whole thing. It's ironic because they actually give Argenti as an enemy more attention than they do Argenti as an actual playable character. Which I'm just like, why is it that that the villain keeps getting new stuff, or the villain version keeps getting new stuff, but the playable one doesn't? So that's a weird part. Yeah, but those 88 pulls are the backup. My plan is hopefully what'll happen, because I really want the Xiao Cho character. He's that Foxian, the male Foxian 5-star. I really want him. And then I really want Sunday. The other characters are really cool too, and I'll kind of have to go with the flow. But the idea is hopefully I won't have to use that whole 180, and then I'll do basically I'll get the character, and then I'll have whatever it is I have left, I will save up for the next character I want, and so on and so forth. And for example, that 88 that you saw, that is the kind of like the Sunday fun, and if I'm able to like add on another 100, then no matter when he shows up to be playable, I'll be able to guarantee and get a copy of him. Who knows when that is, of course. Because, I mean, it's one of those points of even the rumors have no idea. Like Sunday is kind of like almost like the new Baizu in a way, because with Baizu, like, people had been saying that he was going to be coming out since like 1.5, and he didn't come out until 3.6. So, which is after Dendro was introduced, after Sumeru was over, after everything, after all Hytham. It was just like, I mean, hopefully they're doing an Ayato with Sunday in the sense that he'll come out before we reach 3.0. But if they do a Baizu, yeah, I wouldn't expect to see him until like 5 point something. Although apparently they are working on his model. But the thing is, you really can't believe in what leakers say until it actually is in the game, because there are some that just make stuff up, and there are some that hear stuff that's made up and then they report it because they think it's true, but then it ends up not being true, and yada yada. So it's a whole giant mess, but at least we got Argenti's light cone. And like I said, Sunday's light cone will get put on the standard because the 4-stars always get put on the standard. So it'll probably show up at some point. You know, to be honest, it would be super funny if they do basically, like, let's say Sunday becomes playable and then his 3 little 4 stars are 2 of his, so this one and like the one with him being with a little him as a little kid. That would be really funny. Yeah, the thing is too is like with, let's say what, yeah, so this is the Nihility, I think. That one. That's him. Oh, no, it's this one. It's the Iteration. So like that one is Iteration, and then his other light cone is where? It's here. His other light cone is Preservation. So I would say like, oh, maybe he'll be one of these, like, yeah, as a playable character. However, I am not holding my breath because the thing is, we have 2 cards with a Gweniphan on it. This one, which is the Hunt, and then this one, which is Abundance, and she's neither of those. She is actually Nihility, which I find is really silly that they made both of her cards that have her face on it not actually her path. Unless they're planning on whipping out another Gweniphan somewhere, and she'll be either a Hunt or an Abundance. So this actually got me really mad. Back in the day, I was like, how in the world did you end up having 2 Gweniphan cards and neither of them actually you could put on her? I mean, technically you could put them on her, but they wouldn't work. So yeah, but here's all the topazes I got today. I was like, Topaz, go away. Let's see, where is Venturine, where are you? Yeah, here he is. Yeah, I actually have the Topaz card on him. So at least I can up that one to level 5. But yeah. See. What'd you say? See. Asked ChatGPT what is the current Genshin banner, and they told me it's the Fire Archon. Sourced some Reddit post. ChatGPT is not real again. Yeah. That's one of those things where it's like it doesn't know what it's talking about. Yeah. Well, this is what I mean too. It's like I rolled on the Concert for 2 banner and I got a copy of it, but then I ended up getting like 2 other copies later on just from standard, so I'm not going to stress too much about the Sunday one. It is very annoying that Topaz decided to show up 4 times today instead of letting somebody else come in, but I've had that happen before on like, what was it? It was a Genshin banner, and it was Zhongli's banner, and he had Yanfei on there, and he also had Noelle. And my pity was kind of low, so I didn't really have any hope of getting Zhongli. So I was rolling, and I was trying to get Yanfei. Well, I rolled again. Oh, what was that? So, but I rolled again and again and again, and the 4-star kept coming up, and it kept being Noelle. And finally, I was, after like Noelle C7, C8'd herself, I was like, Noelle, go away! And then finally I rolled again, and it was Zhongli. And I don't think I ever got Yanfei at that point. But I was like, okay, well, Noelle like C8'd herself, but it doesn't matter because it just got Zhongli, so don't strategize your pulls based on ChatGPT because you'd still be waiting for the Fire Archon. That's true. Yeah, don't listen too intensely to the AI. Yeah. Well, I will say that I wish that I'd gotten the Sunday light cone. It would have been perfect if I got Argenti's light cone and Sundays, but we got the best out of what we could get, which was getting Argenti's light cone. So I'm happy in that department. Let's see. Did all that out of I think that'll be enough for today. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. I have to update my Twitch schedule too. I did put my schedule on Twitter and Discord, but I forgot to switch. I think tomorrow was the Endless Zone Zero. I think we were going to stream a little bit of that, I think. And then Friday was Genshin and possibly some of the Natlin, because I've been hearing rumors about that either on the 12th or the 13th we're going to have a like more in-depth Natlin preview, which will probably show more of the characters instead of just the 3 originally. But oh, if the sound keeps cutting out, don't worry, it's not you. It's because I have the sound to turn off when I minimize the game or click onto another window, and it's because I'm trying to look at my my schedule up. Yeah. Tomorrow will be Zenless Zone, some Zenless Zone Zero at 8 p.m. And then Friday should be a bit of Genshin and possibly the Natlin preview, but it's a question mark because I don't know if the Natlin preview isn't on Friday and it's on like Saturday or whatever. I'll probably do a special stream for on Saturday just to watch it, but we'll see about all that. All right. We could do some other things, but I'm just kind of tired, so I will see you guys again later on. I saw a few YouTubers got early access to the upcoming event, Hero in. I mean, oh, really? Well, I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest. But sometimes I know with like the beta and stuff, people get into the beta and then they get to play around and stuff like that. So, and then people post their things. So it's kind of they get access because they're just being able to test them out, but they don't actually get them. It's but anyway. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, and you take care too. Okay. See you later. Bye. Thank you for coming.